All right, welcome back to Ripe Avocados. Today, Sean and I are going to look at F1, or actually F1 the movie is the official title, but you
Horrible
just probably
title.
know it. You just probably know it as F1. It's a working title. We're going to look at the characters, the entertainment, cinematography, and writing as we always do. So we'll jump into the summary and get into it.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day.
F1 the movie is basically Top Gun Maverick if you switched out flying planes and Tom Cruise with Brad Pitt and fast cars. It's basically what it is. It's your typical movie where there's an older, almost retired badass. They bring him onto the scene to help the young whippersnapper that is super talented but real immature. And they end up winning everything using dirty techniques, getting down and dirty. But yeah, that's basically this movie.
Yeah, no American can, or any American can find his way around a set of rules if you give him enough time.
Yeah,
And that's what Brad Pitt's character does in this, or Sunny something. I
Sunny
can't remember.
Hayes.
Sunny Hayes. We'll score it and then we'll get into the entertainment. So I went my entertainment score. I went 8.5.
My entertainment score was 9.0.
Okay, same ballpark there. Characters I went 7.2,
Yeah, characters I went 7.1.
and then cinematography I went 8.8,
Jesus Christ, we're kind of on the money here. Cinematography I went 8.7.
and then writing I went 7.8.
Okay, writing I went 6.5.
6.5. Damn. Okay. All right. So you liked it. I definitely liked it too. It did remind me a lot of Top Gun Maverick. Honestly, I didn't
Yeah.
really know the director by name because he's only done a couple projects. Joseph Kosinski. I might have mispronounced that, but we got that same look from inside the cockpit, but this time it's just of an F1 car. And
Which is almost like a cockpit with how fast they're going. It's insane.
yeah, they are going really fast, and this was kind of cool for me because I've never really been that enamored with F1. I know you and I were just talking about that before we started recording, but I don't know too much about it. Did it really make me want to watch this over the NFL and the other competitive sports leagues? Maybe not, but I thought the movie was pretty cool, and I liked it. I thought I didn't think it did
Yeah.
anything bad. There's a couple soft things in it, like the fact that you have to let people pass. I didn't read more into that of what that really meant, but that's a really dumb rule if that's a thing.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
it's somewhat.
I would assume it definitely is a rule. I think this movie definitely shed a lot of light onto the racing and F1 scene, especially. Like you said, I didn't come out of this movie being like, wow, I really need to watch F1 now. But at the end of the day, it was super entertaining.
Yeah.
So it's a long ass movie, but I was entertained throughout. It's nothing groundbreaking. Like, of course, you have to throw in a romantic interest in there for Brad Pitt, but it was a solid movie. Like Top Gun Maverick. It was so amazing watching Top Gun Maverick, and I came out of it being like, wow, that was the best theater experience I've ever had. But a 15-year-old could have wrote that script.
Yeah, and I think Top Gun Maverick, to me, I also thought it was better, but maybe it's just because
Yeah,
the stakes are a little bit higher. Like, that is dealing with, foreign policy and basically war. I mean, it's not really war, but it's
they're shooting down like enemy
yeah,
planes. I'd say it was.
probably
I'd say it
qualifies
was
as
war.
that. Whereas this is just a sport, so the stakes are obviously a lot lower, but it is life or death. We had the massive crash from Joseph's character early on, and I will say a good thing about the entertainment for this movie. Maybe I'm just like really dumb, but every time they were in a race together, Brad Pitt and Joseph Pierce, I thought
Joshua Pierce.
I was like, they're gonna win this race. Like they're gonna do really well. And then Brad Pitt would like intentionally crash into a traffic cone and like muck it all up. And it seemed like that happened maybe 3 or 4 times. And I did like how they showed each individual race though. There wasn't like a hodgepodge fast forwarding through any of them. It was like each race meant something, and it was a little bit different. It wasn't like they were spending 30 minutes on each one, but they gave it a little bit more authenticity.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad they didn't spend 30 minutes on each one, or else this movie would have been 7 hours long.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But no, I will also say, I think, going back to my point of this shedding a little bit of light into the F1 world, it was cool seeing the F1 drivers and athletes, seeing their day to day almost, and seeing how much they work out to prep for driving these cars at, I don't know, 300 plus kilometers per hour or whatever that equates to in miles per hour. But like the whole neck pressure thing, my spine would have snapped in half. I don't know how they're doing that, but I thought it was cool seeing that side of it, and also going into building the cars and all that. Like it was just very cool seeing the light shed on this F1 sports world where I have no idea really what's going on.
Yeah, and there wasn't too much chitter chatter either. We get it all just follows Brad Pitt's character, and you mentioned he's an old hotshot, kind of a badass, and it really just follows his actions, which are going to the racetrack to race F1 cars and then race them in actual tournaments and events or Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So there is a love interest, but it takes very little percentage wise away from like the actual timeline of this movie.
That was
not
kind of
important.
crazy though, that he was like falling in love with this chick, and then at the end just peace out, I'm gonna go race some box cars in the dunes.
Yeah, he was just out. I don't really think too much really mattered aside from just the race portions of this movie, which clearly they spent a lot of time on. I mentioned how they put the angle of the cockpit and everything, and like I don't know. I just think they really focused on that. But
Yeah, the same thing as Top Gun. Like,
yeah,
you're watching the movie for the action scenes, for the scenes of Tom Cruise and Miles Teller flying around in the cockpit. The camera angles are incredible. Same thing with F1. I'm not
yeah.
watching it for the love interest between Brad Pitt and that lady that I can't remember her name, but it was a sick movie.
So I'm gonna transition to characters because there's an interesting thing too about this. Apparently, one of those stars from Bridgerton. I know you've never watched Bridgerton, but I've seen pieces of it here and there. Like France had it on. There's an actress from that show that was rumored to be in this movie, and she acted out a bunch of scenes and stuff, and they just decided not to use any of them. So I think she was supposed to be Joshua Pierce's
Love
love
interest?
interest, but she never makes her way onto the screen. And we were laughing off just talking to each other like that probably would have made the movie at least 4.5 hours
Yeah.
if they included another love interest, and they just scratched the whole thing because Joshua
Thank
was
God.
in love. Yeah, Joshua just needed his mom and a steering wheel to get by.
And
And-
money and drinks and fame
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
bitches
And
in the club.
No, he was past that. So I mean, the characters they were fine. This whole dynamic I've seen a billion times before. We've got the overzealous management of this small racing brand team, and of course they're not performing well, and the owners are kind of dicks. But Brad Pitt is the asshole who nobody really likes, or a lot of people butt heads with him, but he knows everything somehow.
He's just a
knows-
really good driver.
yeah, he's like the greatest driver of all time, but he's kept it all hidden away for some reason until
He was
until just about
probably
now.
the most erratic taxi driver in New York whenever he took that job in his career.
Yeah, I mean, there really was no sort of character development aside from Joshua and Brad Pitt's relationship, which I think a 3-year-old could have picked up on that the first time they meet, and of course they don't like each other and they just continually butt heads until Joshua almost dies. I don't know how he didn't die. Then he
Yeah,
comes
that was
back.
crazy.
He comes
Minor
back
hand injuries.
Yeah, tries to kill Brad Pitt, and then they fight again, and then they eventually just kind of squash it on the track. like men do, and that's really the only character or set of characters that like have a lot of growth to me. Aside from, I don't know, I really didn't think anything else in this movie really was that
Yeah, because Brad Pitt
important.
stayed very linear the whole time. The
Yeah,
movie starts off with him winning Daytona and leaving for a different sport, and then it ends with him winning F1 and then leaving for a different sport. I guess maybe a little bit of what's the word? He grew a little bit in the emotional department where he kind of opens up to his love interest, but didn't really seem to affect him. He kind of was just chasing the thrill of driving cars.
yeah. And everybody else is about as typecast of a character as you can get. Javier Bardem is just trying to. I love Javier Bardem, but
Oh yeah,
I mean, all he's doing in this is recruiting Brad Pitt and getting mad at him when he breaks equipment, and that happens
because it costs $200 million to replace, and Brad
Yeah.
Pitt's just like, I don't know.
That yeah, I mean that's really the extent of the characters. I don't think we have to add too much more to them. I should have given it a lower rating than 7.2, honestly, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it there. Cinematography I really liked because of a lot of the shots that we saw from Top Gun Maverick are very similar ones. Thought the races looked awesome. They sounded awesome. They looked very good, and we just got a lot of different types of shots and different venues, different locations, all that sort of deal. And I thought all those pieces were awesome on the big screen.
Yeah, and I love the soundtrack in this movie too. Again, like Top Gun Maverick, it was just the music that during those driving scenes that kind of just pumped you up. It felt a lot like, it was funny when I was watching it and I was listening to the techno music that was happening during some of the driving scenes. I was like, wow, that reminds me a lot of Tron, that movie
Yeah.
Tron Legacy. And then I looked it up. This guy directed Tron Legacy. That was his
Yeah.
first movie that he directed. So that was pretty cool. And then, as you said, just all the camera angles, the driving scenes, super sick. And a
Didn't
look
Hans
into
Zimmer do the music
yes.
too? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
thought.
That was crazy. I saw that in the opening credits. I was like, what?
And Jerry
insane.
Bruckheimer produced it, or was one of the producers.
So not surprised this was supposed to be the movie this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really again, I don't know if I would credit this to cinematography or probably more writing, but I loved I love the insight into the actual races. Like you mentioned before, the different rules that popped up. I had no idea any of that was a real thing. Brad Pitt constantly clipping his wing to like go back into the box, and it slows the whole race down for Joshua Pierce to catch ahead. Like I thought it was really cool to see and hear about all these little rules and how someone can manipulate them a little bit to push their teammates forward.
Yeah, the American dude. None of these
yeah.
Europeans could figure out this
No.
shit. So let's just get on to the writing, because that was obviously a huge plot hole. Like Brad Pitt, notified, drunk, whatever you want to call him, like former asshole, just outsmarts the entire F1 circuit in a week. He figures out that there's this massive rule that no one has taken advantage of, where he can just repeatedly cause caution laps and allow his teammate to move up. I mean, any of the other drivers should have picked up on what was happening after the first time he did it, but then he does it 3-4 times a race for like 5 races in a row, and it just continually works, and that makes literally no sense, because in all sports, if someone starts doing something fucking crazy, then everyone's going to copy it, especially if it's working, or they're going to change the rule.
Yeah. Like that college football player that did the fake slide that one time.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Instantly switched up on it.
Yep. I mean that was pretty nuts, but I liked it. I mean, it made it kind of campy but hilarious that you knew it was going to happen, and I don't know why I kept falling for it. Every race, I was literally like, all right, this one they're going to fucking win. Like they're both going to get first and second.
And then Joshua Pierce pulls out a gun and does a drive-by on Brad Pitt's car just to make sure he learned his lesson.
Yeah, no, I mean
That kind of sounded racially motivated. I didn't mean it in that sense.
no. The what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know. The plot itself was pretty standard.
Yeah.
You had
I mean, it was about as basic as it could get, right?
yeah.
Like, you introduce this guy into the team, into this F1 racing world. He's got the history of being a prodigy, but kind of fell off. So we've seen this character a million times. Then when it comes to the constant different F1 races, it's like, I didn't expect them to win at the start, and of course they win the very last one. Mm-hmm. Again, the storyline's as basic as it can get, like with Top Gun Maverick. But
Yeah.
I can't deny it was a great movie.
I wasn't able to predict the races they were going to win though, which is kind of my point with what I was talking about before. I don't know. I mean, the last one, yeah, I thought they were going to win, but I honestly thought Joshua would end up being the one that finishes.
Yeah,
it. And I don't know
that
why
is
I didn't.
true.
I don't know why I didn't really figure that out because Brad Pitt had never finished a race or whatever, and they made a big point to ingratiate this into our minds when we were watching like the beginning part of the movie. But yeah, I mean, it was very solid movie. Nothing really wrong with it. I mean, I would totally rewatch this thing. It's
Yeah. Definitely
very
has
relaxing.
rewatchability, again, like Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, and it's not even very heavy. There's a lot of jokes in here. Brad Pitt's fucking hilarious. I mean, this point of his career, he's just kind of like Uncle, like
Yeah.
Uncle of Hollywood.
He's
like
Unc.
he's Unc. I think he just kind of goes around and he's made a name for himself, like rightfully so. But he's a funny guy. I mean, I think it kind of stems from Inglourious Bastards, where he kind of first got that like hunched over accent that he uses, that like Southern draw American accent, but comes out a lot in this movie. It's exceptionally funny because he's just talking to a bunch of Europeans, like he's talking to Nazis and Inglourious Bastards, and it works. Brad Pitt can still make a movie go.
No.
However old he is now, like 55, 60.
Gotta be at least 60. I don't
Yeah.
know. At some points in the movie, I thought he looked 70, 75. But I will say to that point, now that I'm thinking about it, I could have done without the whole romantic interest between Brad Pitt and
Yeah,
the aerospace engineer.
The white chick.
Because
the one middle-aged white chick.
I know. That's attractive and works there. And of course, Brad Pitt has to impose himself on her.
Well, if he didn't, she wouldn't have designed the car as well as she did. So
That's true.
he literally put his mark on her. Pause.
That's crazy because he definitely did do that in the hotel room. But
No,
nah,
he was
some of
hotel
those.
room. He slept in a van, dude.
Oh yeah, whoops. Javier Bardem definitely didn't catch him on the balcony in her hotel room, but yeah, I don't know. I could have done without the whole romantic interest because some of those scenes with, like, Brad Pitt is an objectively, like, beautiful man, but he looked like 95 when he was trying to hold her and kiss her, and I was like, I don't know. Some of those scenes were throwing me off.
Yeah, get some AI. Get some AI Brad Pitt in here. Or
Also,
just
the videos of young Brad Pitt just threw a horrible mullet on him.
Or they just put a helmet on him and they only showed his
Yeah.
eyes, and they're like still wrinkled.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were funny.
Oh,
I love
also-
a good throwback.
You know anything about the, like, esports world or, like, COD League?
Yeah.
You know Optic Scump?
No.
Oh, man. He's pretty much the GOAT of Call of Duty. That's what people say. But the
Optic
red
skunk?
Optic Scump, the
Okay.
redhead dude in F1 is his twin. The first time he popped up on the screen, I went, is that Scump? What the fuck is going on? You got to look up a picture of Optic Scump.
I'll look it up right now. They did have real F1 drivers in this
Yeah.
movie too, which was cool.
I
Lewis
did see
Hamilton.
that.
Lewis Hamilton also was a producer. Oh yeah, I recognize this guy.
Yeah.
But that probably gave it. I'd imagine that gave it a really realistic input. But again, I don't watch F1, so I don't really know. But it checked those boxes for me.
I also could be completely wrong about this. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't know. But I feel like I heard somewhere that they actually did film at F1 races to make the movie even more authentic, which would make sense because they have video of the F1 drivers Like the actual F1 drivers coming into the stadium or the track, whatever.
No, they had like what's his name? Verstappen was in it. Lewis Hamilton was in it, and then they had Charles Leclerc as well. We're all real drivers, and they, unlike Happy Gilmore too, they didn't give them actual lines, which was smart. Because I'm sure they all cannot act.
No.
But it played really well because you just kind of see Daniel Ricciardo, or he wasn't in it, but I know those are like the 4 F1 drivers. I know those are like the biggest ones.
Yeah, I know like Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton pretty much. That's about it.
Charles Leclerc too. He was in the movie as well. I just whatever. Yeah, this movie was fine. It was probably like a solid 3.5 star movie. I think I gave it like a 3 on Letterboxd. Overall, I mean, we've given it. What did we give it here? Do you have anything more on rating?
Nothing more on writing.
So we gave this an 8.0, a 7.95, but we always round up here. So 8.0 out of 10. I mean, that's a really solid score. I think we gave Top Gun probably like a 9.
A 10.
I don't.
An
did
11 out of 10.
I don't think we even reviewed that on this channel, but
Top Gun Maverick. Wow, that's criminal, actually.
It came out before we were doing this, though. To be honest, but yeah, go watch F1. I know we're releasing this about a month, 2 months after it came out, but
It's on streaming now.
Yeah,
You do have to rent it though at this moment. I think it is coming to Apple TV, but I just bought it on Amazon Prime. To rent it, it was like 20. To buy it, it was 25. I was like, fuck it.
I rented it. Did the same shit, but I rented it. But it is coming out on Apple TV. It's an Apple original movie, I believe. So
that's right.
Yeah. Go check out F1, and we'll be back next Tuesday with another one. Until then, stay safe out there. Peace out.
Deuces.